Well, most likely he had prostate cancer for a long time, and aggressive prostate cancer such as this at age 80 grows over a long period of time. I mean, usually it takes from the first diagnosis of prostate cancer to spread would take 5 to 10 years, even in the most aggressive form. It's just, to me, it seems very surprising that the first diagnosis would be a metastatic diagnosis, especially Gleason 9 cancer, without having his PSA history. I mean, I would like him to get to release the PSA history right now to see what it was. I mean, I'm talking from an area of kind of not as much information as I would like to have.
And it is not,
urologist.
it is not standard. We were looking for a PSA score to be released as part of these public presidential health reports. We didn't get Trump's most recently either. I want to ask very quickly, so much has been made of his apparent cognitive decline. Is there a possibility that either the cancer itself or any treatments he was undergoing in secret could affect cognitive function of a person?
Yeah, absolutely. Because what happens is when prostate cancer becomes, like, say you get treated for prostate cancer and then the prostate cancer recurs, what you would do is you would start someone on a kind of a testosterone blocking hormone such as Lupron, and because Lupron acts to lower your testosterone, it gives you kind of like symptoms of depression, lower energy, fatigue. So there's...
Check your chat.
Yeah, I was just gonna... Thanks. Thank you, George Padua, for showing up. I appreciate you. Yes, long time no see. By the way, Lupron is the drug of choice that they're giving to minors who want to transition. So he used the word castrate because that's exactly what it does. And that's the same drug that is given, again, to minors who want to transition. So just want to add that in there. So the same drug they're giving to people with prostate cancer, they're giving to minors. All right, continue.
Oh, we're going to keep going with that one?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude has cancer. We get it.
I know, but he said something. I think he said something in the end there that I wanted to add on to it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I told you to. It's not that long.
There's
right?
a lot of things that go with being on Lupron treatment. So Lupron is a class of medicine that just castrates, chemically castrates someone so that the prostate cancer doesn't spread. And so Lupron was likely used in Joe Biden.
So to be very clear, you believe he was silently, secretly battling this for at least 5 years?
More than that, for
well,
sure.
I think that's yet to be seen. I mean, it would be very surprising, like I said earlier.
He's trying to be politically correct, but yeah,
that's an open secret.
That's for
so many years for nobody to know.
Exactly. Ain't no way this cancer happened overnight. They knew and said nothing. Exactly. Yeah. So there's this book that came out recently by Jake Tapper and some other person who co-authored the book. Jake Tapper is one of the main hosts, I believe, in CNN, or if you can fact check that. What is the news outlet that Jake Tapper works for? But he literally dropped this book right after this happens. So right after they dropped the news, this bombshell report that Joe Biden now all of a sudden has the worst terminal prostate cancer, Jake Tapper brings out a book that takes, by the way, months to create. Okay, if you have a lot of people working with you, it can take 6 months, but if you don't, it can take years. So let's say this guy knew way in advance. Obviously, he was hiding it this whole time to create this book called Original Sin. They dropped this bombshell news, and then he's now making a shit ton of money off the book. If you can chat GPT really quick, how many books have sold on the book Original Sin? Because it's incredible how he needs to be held accountable, because he knew, and instead of him just being a reporter and reporting on the news and being a journalist he claims he is. You know, journalists are supposed to be people that expose the truth. Instead, he hid it in order to make money.
What's the name of the guy?
Jake Tapper.
Let's see.
What does it say? It's not a coincidence at all.
Jake Tapper's latest book, original released on May 20, 2025.
Yeah.
And has not been on sale that long to get like a
But
specific report.
everybody's talking about it.
But it's saying, in contrast, his previous book, his previous book sold 13K copies.
Okay.
But no, they don't have enough, I guess.
Okay, and how much is the book? How much is the book worth? Oh look, George is halfway through the audiobook. Nice. Well, you can tell us because I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna...
I mean, he could tell us. I mean, because this thing's taking forever. It's
yeah.
like searching the web right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Hardcover's $32.
$32?
Yeah.
Do the math, bro. He's not gonna sell 13,000 copies. He's gonna sell way more than that because everybody's gonna want to know the ins and outs of what happened during the Biden presidency. So he's gonna make a shit ton of money off of this book. So I definitely believe he should be held accountable because your job is to expose the truth, not profit off of it. And that's exactly what he's doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And now, instead of him like saying, oh, look, you know, I wanted to expose it. You know, this is what we've gathered, blah, 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 blah. He's now saying, oh, you know, because this can never happen again, we need to make sure all presidents, including Donald Trump, make sure the PCA test is held public. But you weren't saying that for 4 years when Biden was in office.
If he sells 1 million copies, he gets $32 million. Crazy.
Yeah. So not to mention estimate. The income he's already making as a host on the network. So I'm sorry, but he needs to be held accountable. And the people, and Jill, the wife, most definitely needs to be held accountable because somebody was controlling that auto pen. There was an auto pen, and they need to figure out who was the one controlling the auto pen because there's no way this guy was cognizant enough to know what the hell was going on in 4 years. There's no way. He was just a puppet for them to do whatever they wanted to do, you know, with his name on it.
He has to be the most controllable president in our history.
Yeah.
As a country.
Yeah. Like
literally a meat suit puppet.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Poor guy.
There was another president, I forgot his name now, another Democrat, who also had something similar. I think he went through like, was it a coma or something? Like something happened to him and his wife was the one actually controlling everything. I don't know if it was Truman or, I'm not sure. If you can you check what other president had like health issues and wasn't actually able to do their duties as president?
Crap, I think I know who it is.
It was another Democrat. So clearly they have a habit of doing stuff like this. I'm not sure if it was Truman or...
Woodrow Wilson?
Oh, it was Wilson. Okay. I was like, it was one of them.
He was partially paralyzed though.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was Woodrow Wilson, paralyzed, and the wife was the one running the scenes. So, you know, and they said they would never allow something like this to ever happen again after that happened. And something a lot worse happened decades later. So clearly we've learned nothing from that.
She ran the executive branch for about 17 months.
Yeah, well, somebody ran the executive branch for 4 years. So, and we need to figure out who that was. No, FDR ran for the 3 terms, except when he died from polio. Yeah. But polio didn't affect his mental anything.
He was handicapped.
He was handicapped, but he was cognizant. He was cognizant. Yeah, exactly. So this is worse than Woodrow Wilson, like 10 times.
Yeah.
So What they're trying to do, before we get on to the next one, is James Comey, which is one of the chairmen of the GOP, he's a congressman. He said that they're going to they've already nicely sent letters to staffers that surrounded Joe Biden and to Jill and his doctor, who apparently was a family doctor. So he had some other interests. And they're saying if they don't respond within a week, we're going to subpoena them, which means we're going to force them to come in, which they should have done from the very beginning. I don't know why Republicans always want to play polite and play nice. That's why, they're just too slow. Democrats, if it would have been the other way around, Democrats would have been already saying, let's go. They would have already probably gone as far as force them to go to a congressional hearing. These guys are playing super nice, and it really pisses me off because this is treason. This isn't like fun and games. This is straight up treason. You lied to the public for 4 years. The person that people elected in what I believe was a fraudulent election to begin with, to then have somebody in who is not even fucking aware of what's going on. So, which makes it even more apparent that the election wasn't a real election. Because look at what's going on now. Look at the aftermath of this election that was fair and just. It was so fair and just. This guy just happens to have cancer. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sure. Sure, Bob.